there's a lot of rhetoric out here that's saying AI is going to replace all doctors. It's not. It's going to replace some of the things that doctors do, and eventually it may replace some physician jobs, but it's not going to replace physicians entirely. And so as we pivot and we go to talking about the clinical side of this, where do we start with this? So when I was talking to this student, I was like, listen, you think that your issue started the day you started copying from the ChatGPT into your clinical notes. But I'm here to tell you that your problem started well before that. And I said, I haven't talked to you in over a year. And when I don't hear from my students, I know it's not because they're doing so great, because everyone loves to share celebration. When I don't hear from my students, I know it's because they've gone off the rails. And one of the things that happens in medical school is you get to medical school and you forget what got you there. You've been working with Dr. Pinesett, doing my 5-pillar system all through undergrad, got all the good grades, got into medical school, and then you get to medical school and you go to that first week of orientation and you let know nothing, quote unquote, learning specialists talk you out of doing what we've talked about. You let other medical students who don't know what they're talking about, second year medical students, act like big dogs, like, oh yeah, if you want to do great in first year, here's what you should do. When they struggled all first year. And so they have you doing things outside of your character and outside of your skill set, and it makes it a huge struggle for you. And so for this student, I said, listen, what were you been doing the first 2 years? What's been going on? Oh, well, I've been busy with this, and I've really struggled with this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, is that what I teach you to do? Well, no, but so-and-so said this, and then so-and-so said this, and that's why I was trying this, but it's been a real big struggle. And so I said, listen, this moment today is here because you've been cheaping out using these terrible learning, quote unquote, tools that don't facilitate learning. What do? They facilitate you quickly memorizing something for an exam, but you don't have any understanding, any why. And I said, when you get to the clinical environment, it isn't black and white. It's a million shades of gray. Every patient with COPD is slightly different. Every heart failure, yes, there's a lot that's the same, but it's different. And so you have to have around the margins, you have to have the clinical reasoning to be able to sift through it all. And so in the preclinical time, stop using these shortcut apps, these shortcut learning tools, and instead spend the time to truly learn how to decipher complex medical literature. Spend the time to create your own understanding of the different clinical diseases and the mechanisms and the pathways and the treatments and why that treatment makes sense. Not just that's the treatment. Why does that treatment work? Why does that antibiotic make sense for this? Why does it? Thinking about all these things instead of letting the AI just tell you what it is and memorizing the raw facts. And so I said, listen, in your first 2 years, you didn't build this skill. You didn't have the ability to know this stuff and the fund of knowledge. And so now when you get to clinicals, you don't have the deep, meaningful understanding you have. And so it makes everything 1,000 times harder because you can't understand what this patient has or how these symptoms come together or why these symptoms make sense or why this treatment makes sense. It all doesn't make sense to you. I said, additionally, you didn't take the time to learn how to take something very complex and make it simple and do it quickly. And so now here you are in clinics trying to learn about new conditions, but you haven't been trained to read fast and to decipher and to create your own understanding. And so even when you do find the correct thing, you're trying to read up on it, you struggle, and so you use an AI to synthesize it. I said, you were using AI to get your differential direct diagnosis together to help you with small group rounds. We walked through all this. I'm streamlining the process that we went through. All right, we identify issues and we solve them like we were talking about in the last live stream. And I was like, you're talking about how you were using AI to help you get your presentations together for your small group learning, your problem-based learning. That's terrible. You're supposed to go in there and come up with it and struggle early on, but then you get better and more efficient and more effective and more organized at getting it together so that you can give a competent patient presentation. Then you wouldn't be struggling on rounds right now to get your words together to present in an organized, meaningful fashion. So it all starts back there. Does that make sense to everybody what I'm saying? We have to have a foresight that it's not just about today being easier. It's about what am I doing to make tomorrow easier? And I read a great article, talking about like articles I'm reading. I read a great article in the Wall Street Journal. And it was a longitudinal study. They did a long study someone did, and the Wall Street Journal was writing it up. But it was talking about the fact that it's that principle of would you rather work super hard for a decade and then for 4 decades be able to come off the gas, or would you rather take it easy for 10 years, and because you took it easy for 10 years, you then have to work harder for the next 40? And I was like, well, this is an interesting article. So I clicked on the article, I'm reading the article, and it was really interesting because what they found was, I mean, there's a lot of things that found, but the premise of that is what we talk about in education, is that too many of you guys as students have this mindset of, oh, listen, like What feels good today? What feels good this year? What is getting me through right now? Without an understanding of the fact that you are shortcutting today and you're shortcutting this class and you're shortcutting this year, how it's going to make your life so much more difficult a year from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, and so forth. We have to pay the toll. We have to pay the price. And I'd rather pay a heavier price for a shorter amount of time to build myself into a super student so that way I can have a career of greatness. And I'm testament A to that, guys, because I said to myself, I'm going to work my arse off in undergrad. I'm going to work oh so hard, not just to learn the stuff that's here, but also to build myself as a student. So that way I can read effectively. I can understand things effectively. I think my brain is sharpened. It's great at turning through and analyzing things. I'm turning myself into an analytic. And because I did that, guys, medical school was so fun because it was an opportunity for me to learn what everyone else saw as super, super complex and hard. I had the skills to decipher. And so med school was so fun to me because it was an opportunity to use these skills I'd worked so hard over 4 years to obtain, to use them effectively in medical school. And then I saw medical school as, listen, I'm gonna use the first 2 years to get super clinically competent, to understand how to learn in medical school, to create this huge, great fund of knowledge and know all the clinical stuff, know the physiology, know this stuff. So that way, the rest of my career is easy. And I sailed through the clinical years. I honored almost everything. Only thing I didn't honor was because I didn't want to. I won't even get into that. It's a long story. But I honored all my rotations that mattered. Why? Because it was easy. And it was easy for me. I was carrying double the amount of patients as other kids. I'm like, other students. I was like, it's easy for me. I can carry as many as the intern. I can carry as many as resident. It's easy because I have efficiency. I have a fund of knowledge. I busted my butt for those first 2 years, and now I'm on easy street. And the same thing in residency. I worked hard early in residency. In the residency, it was easy. I'm intubating with off hands. I'm doing freaky upside down IVs, like monkey IVs, whatever. I'm doing all this stuff because I pushed myself early. I always say to my students, we front load. And then I'm able to coast. And now you fast forward as an anesthesiologist. I have my own group, all these things, right? I get to travel as someone who was so bad as a student that I was told I was going to flunk out of college. I'd never get to medical school. Now I go not just to colleges to teach learning strategies. I go to medical schools and teach learning strategies. That's crazy. To go from someone who was told you will never even graduate college, you'll never get to medical school, to now I lecture medical students on how to get it done. Schools pay me, bring me in to do training for their students. And it's all because I paid that price early on. And so I want you guys to do that too. Does that make sense? Now, how do we use AI safely? So again, never put the AI before your understanding. When you are learning new material, give the material a go first yourself. Push yourself to create your own understanding. Then use the AI to challenge you, to enhance, to deepen, to modify, to round out your understanding of the material. When you are spitting to AI, this is the reason the understanding has to come first, because we have to have a base fund of knowledge. We're going to use that knowledge. We're going to check the AI. We're not going to assume the AI is right. We're not going to assume the AI is giving us what we need. Cross-check it with your textbooks, with your lectures, with your own notes. That way you can assure accuracy. Run it by your professor and say, hey, is this right? Don't copy the AI into your clinical documents, guys. When you're on clinical rotations, use the AI to supplement, to help you think, to help you organize yourself, but then write your own stuff. Think about your own stuff, present your own stuff, because that way you would have done the hard work of churning, and then you'll be able to defend your point. And so in clinical situations, one of the things that students get upset about is they call it pimping, where the attending keeps asking questions, hard questions, and getting you to miss questions. And people incorrectly assume that the attending wants you to get all the questions right. No, the attending is probing you to see the depth of your fund of knowledge. And the further along you go, the better your evaluation is going to be, because they can see, oh, this person's deep in this material. It's not superficial. They aren't a TikTok doc. They're a real doctor. That's what they're trying to do. And so if you are using the AI to supplement your clinical understanding, your clinical notes, your clinical documents, you're going to get exposed because the questions are going to come, the pimping is going to come, and you aren't going to be able to handle beyond a superficial level. And it's even worse than just having superficial knowledge, because you pretended to have all this deep knowledge in your note. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to start at level 1, we're going to start at level 10, and you ain't got level 10, you got nothing because you haven't built that. Instead, use AI as this scaffold to draft, to think, to reformulate, to refine, not as your base. Use it to strengthen your reading skills right now. So as you go through your textbooks, as you go through your materials, as you go through your clinical materials, create your own understanding first, and then feed the AI the same information and use it to kind of cross-check, to kind of, oh, I missed that point, or, oh, you know what, I have this understanding. Oh, like, you can use it to enhance and strengthen your reading skills and verify and validate that you're reading well. The last thing I'll say about AI is we all need to have workflows and processes. So one of the ways that we can get very consistent in our performance as students is that we have to have workflows and routines. Routines. So when you guys see me, if you were ever to watch me study, I have the same processes, the same flow throughs, the same steps, the same way I do everything. So I have my system, right? My 5 pillars system, my primary reading protocol system. It's all about systems. Why? Because systems get repeated like a factory. Consistent, gosh darn, McDonald's output French fries. That's what we're trying to do. And so when you guys are going about your work and you want to build workflows, stepwise processes that get you to a goal, you want to start looking for ways that you can integrate AI in smartly that help you. They enhance your learning clarity, they enhance your learning efficiency, but they aren't doing the heavy lifting. Instead, you're doing the heavy lifting and they're doing things that just amplify, that make it faster or make it deeper for you. Yes? Does all this make sense? All right. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. We are live action every single Monday, every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. I have to go because I have coaching with my students right after this. So we'll start coaching at 5 in just a few minutes. But I thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, if you guys have questions, please take the time. Put it in the box. I'll make sure I answer it, guys. I'm here for you guys, right? I've made all my career dreams come true. And now I'm on a mission to empower students. I want all the students who were me, who were the hopeless student, who was told they couldn't make it. I want you to have the skills and the support you need to believe that you can do it and ultimately to do it and achieve it in a big way. So take the time, comment. If you're new here, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm live all the time. We also have the podcast. So if you're like, man, I want to catch up more Dr. Pinesett, but I'm not always on YouTube. Put the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. Put it on, get your Dr. P fix, get your positivity, get your productivity on each and every day. All right? If you're really ready to level up and I want Dr. P all the time, right? Nick's on here right now. He just sent me his personal statement. I was reviewing his personal statement today, right? To give him feedback about that. I want you guys to understand, I'm here for you guys. Get to my website. It's premedproductivity.com. I have courses. I have coaching programs. There are free trials. You can go and you can see, oh gosh, this is different than everything else out there. Go check it out, guys. It's all there for you to support you. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. How do we always end? No excuses, just dominate, guys. See you next time.
That's it for another episode of the Premed Productivity Podcast. Show your love by smashing the like button and commenting in the box below. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future into your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better? Get to my website, premedproductivity.com. Grab a free ebook, sign up for a free webinar, and if you're really ready to transform, enroll in one of my life-changing courses, coaching programs. You have greatness inside you. Let me show you how to unlock it so you can dominate and make your dreams a reality. No excuses, just dominate.